Supreme Court has been extremely important to President Trump. He often credits it for one of the reasons that he was elected because of his pledge to put conservatives on the court.
I have always felt that after the defense of our nation, the most important decision a president of the United States can make is the appointment of a Supreme Court justice.
He certainly struck big in his first appointment, and that was to replace Justice Antonin Scalia after his untimely death in 2016.
Today I am keeping another promise to the American people by nominating Judge Neil Gorsuch of the United States Supreme Court to be of the United States Supreme Court.
The judge's job is to interpret the law, not to make the law or make policy. So read the words of the statute as written. Read the text of the Constitution as written, mindful of history and tradition.
If you're asking whether I take my faith seriously, and I'm a faithful Catholic, I am, although I would stress that my personal church affiliation or my religious belief would not bear on the discharge of my duties as a judge.
This essentially with free riders and unions. I know you point to some facts, but it seems to me that just human nature, free riders, I mean, everyone should take advantage of it, right? You can get all the benefits. What other benefits?
As a district judge, I view my role quite differently than the role of legislators, whether they be representatives or senators. In the legislative branch, you make the laws. They're placed into the United States Code, as you know, and our role as judges is to interpret the law, not to inject our own policy preferences.
I mean, you know, we've talked about 97% sectarian prayer here, rotating there. In Marsh, 100% Christian prayer. And apart from a couple years at the end, basically the same kind of prayer that we have here.
Yes, Your Honor.
As Attorney General, I publicly disagreed with Moore and assisted the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of Alabama in ensuring compliance with the injunction. After the Alabama Judicial Inquiry Commission then filed charges of misconduct against Moore, I personally prosecuted the charges in the Alabama Court of the Judiciary, which unanimously granted my request to remove Roy Moore from his judicial office.
As we all know, all political campaign spending implicates core First Amendment rights to freedom of expression and freedom of association. However, as Buckley held, the government's compelling interest in avoiding either the reality or the appearance of corruption justifies caps on direct contributions.
This will be a real fight. While the Democrats in the Senate don't have enough votes to stop Trump's nominee, only a few defections from Republicans could do that. And so it'll be an interesting choice for the president whether to pick a very conservative nominee, as he did with Neil Gorsuch, or whether to pick someone considered more moderate that would be sure to retain all of the Republican votes that that person is going to need in order to be confirmed.